Good Friday morning. Today's Friday, August 15th, 2024, and this is your Friday safety meeting. My name is Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department. We are located in the Z building, ground level, center of the room, right next to the pillar. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to stop by and we will get you taken care of. We are live here in Springfield, Missouri, simulcasting to our other terminals in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Pittston, Pennsylvania. And of course, we are live across the socials. So welcome to our folks that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I think I'm forgetting one. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. I said them all. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. So we got them all. And of course, for those that are here live for your first time, thank you for being with us. And folks that are watching for the 100th time, thank you for being with us. You can obviously watch live across the socials, but of course you can go back in time and watch some of our previous information, our previous meetings. So when you get time, or you get bored, don't hesitate to go back and watch some of Dave's handiwork in the future. So at each of our locations, breakfast is free. So if you haven't jumped in line yet, jump in, get you some free breakfast. Dave White's paying the bill this week, so order up. All right.
This
is at all three of our locations. John Blanchett and his crew at all three locations do a fantastic job of getting us all taken care of. They've got some really big events coming up with our picnics at all three locations. So let's give them a round of applause just to say thank you. All right, let's go east first. Let's see who we got with us. Richard Brock, good morning.
Good morning. I've got Rick Gifford and Lisa Lukochko here with me this morning, and we've got a crowd trickling in. Some people still in line coming through here. Nothing crazy new going on around the terminal, but we do have the picnic coming up, which is going to be on the 24th, and that's going to be down at the pad. So if you guys are going to be in town and you guys are wanting to get in the Pride and Polish, also is going to be going on during the picnic. Please let me know and we'll get your truck entered into that. So, that's always a cool event, getting to show off your trucks and the themes that you guys have going on inside those. And the folks at the picnic really enjoy seeing those trucks as well. We also have the Million Mile Dinner going on. That is going to be on the 22nd. So we'll be doing that as well. So that's really all the new updates that we've got going on. We had a good orientation this week, and that's about all I've got from up here.
And you say that's all. That's a ton. That's a ton. You also got some new property there that you guys are breaking in. Tons of great things going on in Pittston. Of course, if you want to participate in the company picnic, Pride and Polish, make sure you communicate with your fleet manager and those folks up there so they can get you signed up. Richard, as always, and Rick and Lisa, and the whole gang in Pittston, thank you guys so much for being with us this morning. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, let's go west, Salt Lake City. Jonathan Grice, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic.
Good. I'd like to echo what Richard was saying. We also have our Million Mile Dinner coming up September 6th. And then the 7th as well, we have our company picnic out here in Salt Lake. We have the same amenities and options that we're going to have at the other terminals. We've got our Pride and Polish competition, food, games for kids. We'll look forward to have a good crowd come out.
Man, short, sweet, to the point. I love it. Thank you for being with us. As always, Jonathan's representing the Cardinals today, so appreciate you, of course, for doing that. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns from Salt Lake City, don't hesitate to jump on the microphone.
I appreciate it. I did want to add real quick, we do have a pretty good volume of freight out west this weekend, so I encourage everybody to be available as often as you can. Also wanted to mention from a load integrity and protection perspective, just make sure your trailers are locked, secured, do a walk around before you start your shifts, and make sure you're protected out there.
As always, we appreciate you, Jonathan.
Thank you, guys.
All right back here, Springfield, Missouri. Let's get some energy. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sounded a lot better than last week, man.
Oh yeah. We're live, ready to go. So we got We had a few neon vests, I think. Yeah, over there in the corner, neon vests. That means we got some new people. So if you're new to Prime, if this is your first week, if you would stand for just a second to give us an opportunity to welcome you to the team. Let's give these folks a round of applause. You know, we're growing as a company, and a lot of other companies are putting together some growth strategies around the country. So you guys probably had some options on what trucking company you went to, and we appreciate you choosing us. We don't ever pretend to be perfect by any means, but we will continuously listen to your concerns, listen to your suggestions on how we can get better and implement what we feel like is right to do.
That is true, Dennis. And just want to welcome everybody, all of our new folks too. You know, we know you've been through a lot coming through here, and trucking, there's a lot of regulations out there, man. Welcome to regulation-laden industry, because you know, the physicals, the drug tests, it seems like it never ends, and that's just part of trucking. So remember, stay on top of your body. You know, don't get out of shape. Watch what you're eating, and we'll get Colby up here in a little bit, talk about driver health and fitness. But you know, another thing too, you know, just be ready to go. You know, if you have questions, let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to make you guys all successful, and that's what we're about. And I can see Dennis or I hauling any freight out there, and you probably don't want to be honest with you. So you all are the professionals, and you do a wonderful job for us, and especially all those that are out there driving right now for us, running up and down the highways, hauling the loads. Not here at the meeting, you know, we appreciate everything that you do too as well. So, but welcome to Prime.
You know, safety is really important here. That's one of the reasons that we do these type of meetings every single week. Safety is one of our core values. You know, we're going to operate safely, Dave, and we're going to do it and be compliant doing it. We will not sacrifice the safety of one of our associates or someone in the motoring public for economic gain. That's just a part of who we are as a company. If that is your thought process, you've aligned yourself with the right company. If someone that you're working with at the time is not doing that or not expressing that, let us know. We'll fix it right away, no matter what time of day it is. So,
yes, we will. And you know, Richard Brock and Jonathan both brought up the picnics going on at their facilities, and they're right here in Springfield, August 30th. We got our truck driving championship. So love to have you. Want to give a big shout out to next week, Dennis. I'll be going to Indianapolis for the National Truck Driving Championships. It's sponsored by the ATA, or put on by the ATA. So we'll be out there, and I want to give a big shout out to we got 2 drivers competing from Prime. So they won or they qualified at our company level. Then they went to our state and got first place. And now this year they're going out to nationals next week. So big shout out to Buddy Gray. He'll be representing the state of Utah on 5-axle. He got first place there earlier this year. And then Dwayne Grimm, he was first place in flatbed here in Missouri. So they'll be heading out that way. I'll be joining them. And best of luck to those 2 drivers, and their spouses will be coming along too, Darla and Dwayne. And then we got Jamie and Buddy. So they run teams with their husbands, and that's another idea for all you new folks in here. If you want to run teams, man, we got a lot of teams that run here at Prime and very successful. And you know, those 2 gentlemen, they do a wonderful job for us, and have competed many years in the truck driving championships. And then also to go with the truck driving championships, they mentioned too, Jonathan and Richard did the Pride and Polish. So Richard, could you pull up some pictures there? This is last year's Pride and Polish we had, and just some beautiful trucks. And go ahead and go on through them, just scroll on through. You can see there, they really doctor up those trucks, make them look nice, shine them inside and out. You could eat off the floor of these trucks, I'm telling you. They are beautiful. So put their lights on, and you know, I go through there and look at them every year that we have it out here in Springfield. And it is so hard for me to decide which is the best truck. But we do bring in neutral judges to look at them, to judge them. And then there's always the ever popular People's Choice, where you get to select what truck is the best. So if you've got a nice truck, you enjoy polishing it up, make it look good, hey, sign up for one of the Pride and Polishes. And you can sign up for one in Pittston, sign up for one here. If you can make it here, hey, that's fine. Love to have you. The more the numbers, the better the competition is. And you get a nice trophy, you get some Prime points added on to as well, and makes it all worthwhile. And it's a good time.
Sounds good. All right, let's get it going.
Let's
What do you
get
got
going on our
safety-wise?
safety numbers. Yeah, so this past week we had 158 DOT inspections. 98 of those were clean, so a 62% clean rate. So good job. Give yourself a round of applause. That's good. You know, towards the end of this month, August 25th through the August 31st is the CVSA brake check. So be ready for that. Yesterday, I was up at a meeting up at the state capitol, and we had DOT there. We had commercial motor vehicle enforcement people there too as well, and they're ready to go. Something to keep your eye on this year. They're really focusing in on brakes, and we're going to have Trent come up here, Trent and Doug here in a little bit in our maintenance department. They're going to talk about that and hit on it. But some of these states are using performance-based brake testers, and they're a machine in which after you get an inspection, they'll pull you up on this machine and they're going to check the efficiency of each wheel on braking. It's kind of a new device, very expensive device. Missouri's not using it, but I know Oklahoma is. I believe South Dakota, and there's a few other states too. So be prepared for that. That'll be interesting. Looking for any feedback. Any of those of you that have an inspection that includes one of those, you know, let me know how that goes, because that's kind of an interesting device. It's new for enforcement. You know, technology gets better out there in the highways, and so does enforcement. So North Carolina is using cameras for monitoring drivers on cell phones, and that's a different situation too out there. So, you know, these states are getting smarter and getting a little bit more efficient on, you know, watching what drivers do. And so be prepared and make sure you do your brake tests, make sure you do your brake checks and all that, and you do proper pre-trips. Not only that, if you get pulled in, anything's available for them. So they may ask you for your spare logbook, even though it's not brake related, and they could write you up for that too as well. So just be ready for that week, the end of the month here. And hey, it's your turn to shine. And usually, Dennis, we do a very good job. We put in some good numbers, our operators do, when these CVSA brake checks and stuff come around in programs. So
Heck yeah, that means Robert's going to be breaking out his checkbook, writing some $100 checks.
$100, baby. That's right.
There you go. There you go. Hey, so last night I was missed my flight in Dallas, so I had to take a later flight.
Did you get the last one in?
I did, and something that I've never had happen before. The pilot came out of the plane and got on the loudspeaker to the folks in the gate and said, "Hey, here's the deal. We're going to start boarding, and we don't need to mess around. Hours of service for our crew are about up, and we cannot take off if we cannot make it the whole way through. If you guys take too long to board, we're going to have you get back off, and you're going to have to rebook another flight. So get it going." So,
and that means that would have been for this morning, right?
Actually, it would have been for Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah. Terrible. But the point in that story is you guys aren't the only one that has to answer to the Department of Transportation as it pertains to hours of service. So we'll have our hours of service expert come on up and talk to you. Donna Eckert from our log department. Come on up. Don't be shy.
Oh, Donna's not shy.
No, she's not shy.
Love her accent,
Donna's
too.
not shy. East Coast, Long Island, New York. Are we going to be able to understand what you're saying?
Partially.
All right. Good morning.
Well, I promise. Morning, everybody. My name is Donna. I'm from the log department. So today we just want to kind of go over two items. One, of course, is just going to be to review over personal conveyance and the parameters of PC and legal movements. And we're also going to talk about another issue of what to do if you're involved in an incident on road due to accident, incident, and you're held up in stop traffic. What status should you be in? First off, though, with the personal conveyance, this past week we did have 3 of our inspections come back with violations regarding personal conveyance misuse. Okay, so we just want to kind of go over and cover it, make sure that you're making those legal movements, keeping yourself safe. So personal conveyance, remember, PC is just the name. Personal just means you are making the movement. Okay, so it is putting all liability to yourself. Personal conveyance is still a movement. You're still behind the wheel. You're still operating the truck. Only difference here is you're not accounting for the time on your clock. So it is unaccounted for time. Okay. So personal conveyance, when can you use it? If you are leaving a customer, they do not offer overnight parking at the facility. You can use PC to the first available place of rest in your vicinity, making sure it's first available. Trucker path, NTTS breakdown is what we use in the office to find those first available places of rest. They also give a listing, so you have a backup in case you get to the first stop. It is closed, or there's no parking left, okay? The lots are full. You have to make sure that you stop, document, go off duty, or mark the place. It's a TA at exit 57 off of Highway 85. Parking lot is full, moving to the next stop, okay? Because on your logs, every time you select a status, it pinpoints that location. So you're telling a story, okay? If you are asked to move by a law enforcement official, you can use PC, but it must be from a legal position. So side of the road is never a safe place to stop, and it's not where we ever want you to be. An on or an off ramp, same deal, not safe locations. So make sure those moves are made from a legal position, and make sure too, I know it's hard, you're seeing yourself, if you're involved in an occurrence that's causing you delay on road, first thing we see is we're switching to personal conveyance. You have to remember, you're still representing a movement of the truck. You're still showing that you are extending the time you are behind the wheel, now driving in a negative and fatigued state. Take accountability for what you're doing, maintain to the drive line. First place you see that's safe, legal, park, stop, go off duty. Make sure you're documenting what occurred to cause you to go into violation. Give a backstory for DOT to look at, okay? Other times that you can use personal conveyance are going to be if you are here at the terminal. So while you're here on the premises, or if you need to go outside to the local hotel. So we're talking about in and around town, Walmart, local Target, a restaurant, something like that. You can use PC to move in and around. Just remember though, back and forth to Walmart or going back and forth to the hotel. But when you first arrive here at the terminal, leaving the 90, coming in, you must always be on the drive line when you arrive at any one of the terminals, okay? You cannot use PC if you are going to any customers. PC cannot be used if you're going to go for any fueling, washouts, maintenance to a shop. If you are going to repower a load, you have to be on the drive line to arrive at that location. Moving at crime's direction at any point. And remember, even when you are at home, the same rules apply. It's a DOT registered vehicle, and that means it operates under the hours of service at any given time. So at home, same rules, small in-vicinity movements in and around your town to local stores or facilities. If you need to go any further, can you operate your truck? Absolutely, but that operation will be conducted under your clocks, okay? And make sure that every move you make in personal conveyance is documented in your remarks, okay? Another important thing to know is how to select it properly. I know we get quite a few phone calls that I was in PC, but now I'm on the drive line. Drive is not as fast, we can change or edit, so make sure you're in it correctly. The truck has to be on and running, not just in the on position. Once it's on and running, because it is initiated by the ignition status, go to off duty, select personal conveyance, type in your remark of use, hit OK. When you make your movement and stop, you have to go off duty, shut the truck off. And if you have to make another move, you have to restart, reselect all over again. OK. If you're in the status and your truck idles out or you cut the key back, you've now terminated it. So just make sure, restart, reselect for each movement, okay? Anybody have any questions regarding personal conveyance? No? Okay. Just note that if you do have a question, we always say, make sure, contact us if you're not sure. It's better safe than sorry later on. Now, for some of us, we do get that security because instated here, not everybody is on it, is the PC pilot program. So if you're on it, you know all about it, but if not, the PC pilot program is one that has been instated here at Prime to make sure that every move is a legal move by a verification process. So if you're on that program, you see you do not have that option available in the Qualcomm unit. If you need access, you need to call or message in, let us know what you're using it for, verify legal movements, PC will be enabled for that movement. And then once the move is completed, just message, call us back, let us know you're done, and we'll disable it again, okay? We do ask you to be proactive. The ratio of log advisors to drivers is substantial. We always want you to be ahead of the game too as well. We don't want you to wait till the last minute. It does take a few minutes. So I'm at the customer, think they're done, 30, 40 minutes. Here's where I'm going to go. We will set you up so that way when you're ready, you can go. Okay. So being proactive is going to be your number one. Okay. With the PC pilot program. Now, just one more thing also is I said on duty. So a big thing we get is I just got up, I'm on the highway, traffic accident up ahead. It looks like it might be a while. What do I do? First thought is I got to save my clocks. Your first thought is always, how can I cover myself and keep myself legal on road? So I know you see your clocks are running, but again, you're not going to go anywhere off, on, sleeper. Your clock, your 14 is always running, but on duty puts you in the front seat of the vehicle, just not driving. It says I'm working. Going off duty or sleeper berth is a false record of duty status. It's going to show that you are safely parked and you are not at that location at that time, okay? So make sure you stay on duty for the entirety of the period. Contact people ahead, dispatchers, your fleet manager, let them know what's up so they can make adjustments based on your changing conditions, okay? Get ahead of the game. And if you are not sure of what to do, obviously always call us, please, so we can help give you your most legal and safe options. Same thing goes if you're stuck on the side of the road, maintain any on-duty status, move and document the events at the end when they're safely parked to let DOT know what occurred during that time period. Okay? I think that's it.
All right, any questions for Donna? All right, thanks.
All righty, guys, well, have a good morning.
You know, our law department always does a fantastic job, and if we had, 9 more Donnas, we'd be better off. She talked about personal conveyance, and every once in a while, a driver will catch me and they'll say, "Hey, Dennis, what, as a safety director, what are some of the things that keep you up at night?" And personal conveyance is one of those things. We toyed with the idea. A lot of companies are just plain getting rid of it. And honestly, I don't know that that's a bad decision. Anytime we find ourselves in a situation where we've been in an accident, the first thing the plaintiff's attorneys want to see is those logs, and they're purposely looking for your mistakes. They're purposely looking for if you misuse personal conveyance, even for just a few minutes. That's literally the first thing they're looking for. So, make sure that if you have questions, if you're not sure, we've got a team of folks here that can help you out. Your fleet manager, your log advisor. Please, 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 as I stated at the very beginning, we're going to operate safely and we're going to do it in compliance. So we're going to make sure that your logs are correct. We're going to make sure that if you are using personal conveyance, it's the right move and you're going the right direction, you're going to the right places. So thank you, Donna, for being with us. And of course, she'll be hanging out over there if you have any questions for her.
And you brought up a good point, make sure you know your log advisor, know your road assist advisor, know your payroll person, definitely know your fleet manager. I mean, that's your travel agent right there. He or she's the one who's going to book your loads. So make sure you know them, have that relationship with them. Go up there and shake your hand and say, "Hey man, I'm so-and-so, I'm from here and I'm new here at Prime and, or I've been on your fleet for a year, but I've never met you face to face, and so that's what it's about, is creating relationships. And we have drivers that come through safety, believe it or not, and they'll sit down and talk to us. "Hey, how's my safety record going?" That's what we're about right there. We're educating and talking to you, and hopefully you feel like it's part of a family, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want you to be feel like you can talk to us, and you have questions, let us know, because education is important, and you don't. No such thing as a stupid question. So we can try to get you to the right person if we can't answer that question. So,
all right, who we got up next?
All right, man. Driver health and fitness. We have Colby and Rachel coming up next. So Colby's got a ball and some hats. Man, this is kind of interesting.
It's a trick.
Yeah. Hello, Rachel.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. So I'm Colby, driver health and fitness. This is Rachel, our on-site dietitian. So real quick, before we get into it, every week we're doing a health tip. When this mission we're always on with Dennis and the safety team, that, a healthier driver is a safer driver. Last week we talked about taking care of your feet, and I kind of showed you guys this ball. I just had a question for anybody. Did anybody do it, and can they share with us anything? Last week I talked about the benefits would be, it can help with circulation, it can help with relaxation, it can also help with, helping with your sleep. Pain relief. Has anyone done that before in any terminals or online maybe they could share with us? So if you want to now, or you can share anytime during this, I just want to get some feedback. But Rachel, right now, what is our health tip for this week?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So does anyone know what a complex carb is? We have prizes if you do know what the answer is.
Anyone, any terminal too. We have hats at all terminals. A complex carb. Anybody? I heard somebody say
Snickers bar?
Okay. Oh, we got one hand up. I like this. Let's be vulnerable.
They are carbs that take longer to break down in your system. They don't break down as quickly as simple sugars do.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
I
Yep.
like that. I'm
They're
gonna give you a hat.
longer.
You can clap for him. Come on. Go ahead. You get example. Have an example of one?
Yeah. What's a good
What, a
example of
black
a
one or
complex carb that, like you said, it's a type of carbohydrate that doesn't break down as quick. It takes longer. Any examples of those foods?
Oh, we got one right here.
Yeah, wild rice. Yeah.
Wild
yeah.
rice. I
Love
like
it.
that. There you go. You can clap for him. You want
And then one last question. Obviously, so simple carbs are going to be the opposite of complex carbs, right? They're simple. They break down really quick. Any example of what a simple carb is going to be?
What is it? You said a vegetable?
A vegetable? No, vegetables are more complex.
In a good way.
Yeah, bread. Yeah.
Bread?
So over
I like
there.
that.
So
Come on.
and
You clap
bread
for him.
can,
Come on. I like that. Yeah, black one. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bran. So up on the screen, we actually have two different types of bread. So we have a bread that's a complex carb, and it's really tough to see, but I can kind of walk you through it. And then we have a bread that all of the fiber has been taken out. So it's no longer a complex carb. It started out as a complex carb, but the fiber has been processed out. And so there's nothing to slow down the digestion. So that means two things. If anyone in here is diabetic, if anyone in here is trying to watch their weight and watch kind of their calorie control, fiber does two really important things for both of those categories. Fiber helps you to actually digest less calories in a meal. So if you have a fiber source like a vegetable or like a whole grain, those types of things are like, let's say like beans, nuts, seeds, any of those things are going to have a lot more fiber. And that actually is going to kind of create a net around your food while you're digesting it. So you don't absorb as many calories, but you also don't get as high of a blood sugar spike. So that bread on the left side, the white bread, underneath total carbohydrate, you drop down and you'll see fiber. On that fiber, there's 0. And so you know that that's a simple carb. On the other one, drop down underneath total carbohydrate, and I think it's 6. I'm not totally sure, but there's a really significant amount of fiber. A good rule of thumb,
What?
7.
7?
So 9 total carbs, and then 7 grams of those carbs are fiber. So that's a really significant portion of those carbs are fiber. So yeah, if you look at the fiber amount, a good rule of thumb is just look for at least 3. So anything that's like, bread, pastas, things that are grain-based, cereal, try to look for a one that has at least 3 grams of fiber, and they at least kept the fiber in and they didn't take any of it out from the grain. Can you switch that? Thank you. So another example is just a white tortilla and then like a carb-balanced tortilla. So same thing with there, like the white tortilla has 0, right? And then the carb balanced tortilla, thank you. The carb balanced tortilla has 18 grams of fiber. They added a lot of fiber in here using different food sources to get that level of fiber. But that's a great way to, and still enjoy bread, still enjoy things like wraps and not have to totally cut them out by choosing the high fiber sources. All of these are available at Walmart. Has anyone ever got like the high fiber tortillas? Anyone ever tried them? Yeah. And same thing with the high fiber bread. The one that's up there is the Sola brand. There's the Sara Lee Delightful is another high fiber one that you can always find at Walmart. But yeah, the Mission brand at Walmart, the Extreme Wellness wraps, those are always available and they're really, really great options. Any questions for me on fiber or total carbs? Okay, everything is always individualized in the DHF office. So if you come talk to me about your nutrition, we're gonna get down into what your goals are, into what you need. And so if you wanna come talk to me, I'm never gonna generalize stuff. So yeah, just come talk to me if you have questions.
All right, thank you.
Hey, you're just a microphone holder up there, Colby, for once. What do you got there, D?
All right, so stars of the show are coming up next. You know, you talked about, Brake Check Week coming up. So we've got our folks that are going to come up and talk about it a little bit. We got Trent Doug, and somewhere out here we've got a Paul Higgins that may try to steal the show. But good morning, Doug. Good morning, Trent.
Good morning. You're responsible to make sure Paul Higgins doesn't get up here, okay?
Where is he?
It's your job.
We need eyes on him right now.
Good morning. Thank you for coming up. I think we have some really great topics today to talk about. I'm going to cover inflation systems. I'm Doug Tam. I help out in the tire department, plazas, and road assist. This is Trent, 7 years driving experience, handles our pro maintenance, training classes, and several other things across the department that we do on our road assist side. So, if you have any questions, please speak up. Today I'm going to show a video. We're going to talk about inflation systems and really why you have to trust that light and make sure that the inflation light on the radius of that left front part of the trailer is visible in your mirrors, okay? Let's make sure we adjust it so you can see. So routinely you look at your gauges, road gauges, mirrors, right? So make sure that inflation light is set. I'm going to go ahead and shoot some of this video and talk you through it as we go through, and the ending of this is pretty dramatic, where we have a burned down trailer. So as we're traveling down the road here, this was local. This was in Circoxie, about 40 miles to our west. As we're passing over this bridge, you'll see we have a tire failure and the tire blows out. Right about here, you'll start seeing debris right there on the road. And there's our wheel drag. So that tire blew out. That trailer continued rolling, and what happens is that tire gets wrapped around that brake caliper and it can't spin anymore. So it starts dragging that tire and that wheel. So what happens is that aluminum wheel gets really, really hot, just like welding metal, it gets up to 500-600 degrees as it's dragging that concrete, and it will ignite that tire. So in this case, we believe the inflation light was on. We continue to drive. This was 3.4 miles we continue to drive. So we're coming up. We slow down because we have a construction zone here. The driver gets pulled over. You'll see the wheel skid that's still visible on the road going off to the right-hand side here. Here we go. We just passed that exit. We really should have stopped at that exit. But what happens is when we stop, that wheel's hot, and it ignites the tire at that point once we become motionless. That wheel is hot enough to catch that rubber on fire. Once you catch that rubber tire on fire, it's there it is right there, right? That is a huge deal. We lost the load, we lost the trailer, obviously. All we could do at that point was unhook from the truck so we didn't lose the truck and the power, and that driver was safe, right? So we have to make sure that inflation system, that light is in your mirrors. If it comes on, I want you to trust it 100% of the time. Get pulled over. Don't wait to the exit. It might be 3 or 4 or 5 miles, but by that time, as you can see, that could be a burnt down trailer. It could be on fire. And then at that point, we're trying to do everything we can to help the motoring public route around us. So make sure we're looking at those lights. Make sure you're trusting them. It's like any other maintenance item, right? You're going to have times where the light is malfunctioning, or maybe you're getting a ton of alerts, which happens. Sometimes these systems will malfunction and we'll start sending you 100 alerts. Hey, your system's not working. So make sure you contact the road assist advisor, tell them what's going on. We're not, over the road is not the greatest place to get them fixed. So sometimes we just have to tell you to get it to a terminal. We put a message on it, get it checked out, but relay those messages and trust that light, because we've had 3 of these instances this year where we've lost trailers. So make sure that light is in your mirrors and you're paying attention to it and trust it 100% of the time. Another reason to come to the plaza, I know sometimes our wait times are a little slow. Sometimes we get backed up with a huge traffic flow, but come through and see us, because we spray all of our hoses down. We check those inflation systems. We service them every year. If you pay attention when you come into the plaza, we're making sure those lights are functioning on every trailer. Every 90 days, we check those. So just, that's another reason to come through. Make sure your systems are functioning properly. Make sure your tires are in good working order. and just trust our process. We're trying to get you through as quickly as possible. And we're preventing a lot of this stuff. So trust the system. If we have any questions about that, I'll be over here in the corner or ask after Trent's done speaking here as well. So that's what I have, Trent.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk about an event we've got coming up here in a couple of weeks. At the end of August, every year, they do what's called the Brake Safety Week. So this year, it's going to be August 25th to 31st, all week long. If you get pulled into a weigh station, there's going to be a pretty good chance you're going to check out your brake system and make sure everything is okay. So this year, they're going to be focusing on a few different areas, really highlighting these things. So I wanted to mention them. First of all, your brake pads. They're going to be looking at those pads and making sure there's no cracks anywhere on those pads. You want to make sure there's a good depth. You need at least a 1/4 inch pad life left. But mainly, they're going to be looking for cracks on those pads. So be sure and do a good pre-trip there. They're also going to be looking at your airlines, especially the stationary airlines. They should not be rubbing against anything. If they are rubbing against something, that can cause chafing, and eventually it will cause the airline to rub a hole in it and fail. So look over all the airlines, make sure they're not rubbing against anything. And then something they just do every year with this, they check your glide hand seals. So we need to do our job here and make sure those glide hand seals get a good inspection. If there's so much as one crack in that glide hand seal, that is a DOT out of service item, and they're going to put you out of service, and we're going to sit there until it gets repaired. You are expected to change out glide hand seals yourselves out there on the road. When you see a glide hand seal with a crack in it, they're really easy to pop in and out. And we give these out for free. You can stock up on them when you come through the terminals. We give them out in outbound or in our parts desk. Just ask for some glide hand seals and we'll give you a bag of them. This is all part of your pre-trip inspection, and you're required by law to do this inspection. There's cameras everywhere now. So we don't want to find ourselves in trouble. Make sure you're getting that inspection done every day. But at the end of the day, really, this is a good thing. This is something that we should look forward to every year because we've got late model, really nice equipment. And this is really designed to keep the dangerous trucks and trailers off the highway. So make sure you're doing the inspections. Be mindful of that. Unless anyone has any questions or Paul's got anything to say, that's all I got. Thank you all.
I'll touch on one more thing just because I did ask Dennis for a little bit more time. I wanted to show that video and cover some stuff. We'll talk tire deductibles for a real quick moment. What ends up happening a lot of times, if you're shortcutting that pre-trip and you're not walking around and getting a good visual inspection of those tires, you'll be hearing from me or Trent a lot of times, and we'll be, if there's a tire damage and a big chunk out of that sidewall, maybe the shipper did it, maybe the previous driver did it, but if it's not on your pre-trip inspection, you will be charged at least at minimum a $500 deductible, if not the full cost of that tire and wheel. So make sure, there's some penalties that are pretty steep. Nobody wants to lose $500. Raise a hand. Who wants to lose $500? We'll come around and collect it. But it's a serious deal. So let's make sure we're reporting damages. Make sure you're documenting all that on your pre-trip. Trent does a fantastic job going over that in his pro maintenance class, which is every day over at the campus Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
1 o'clock. And Pennsylvania and Salt Lake City also hold a class at 1 o'clock on Thursday. So make sure you sign up for that and go through that class. We'll help you save money and also help prevent some of these deductibles and damages and how to report that to us so we can help you get it fixed and you not have that headache. So definitely appreciate that and do your best. Sean, you have a question?
Yes, sir. I know on the old trucks, we had the drums and those are really easy to check. You just get in and they have a wear mark on them. On the new trucks, like mine's all disc brakes. I can just look at them, but how far can you go down on disc brakes?
It's the same, a 1/4 inch pad life. A lot of the trucks we have, the wheel actually goes over the brake assembly and you can't look down there and see the pads. So if you're not sure how much pad life you have left on, we need to get that checked, and it'll require pulling the wheel off to do an inspection on that.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb on a disc brake is using a nickel. As long as it's within that thickness of a nickel, you're legal. So you can use that as a tool.
Paul says there's a wear indicator on the caliper also.
Any other questions? All right, you guys have a great morning. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Paul, come on up here. I know you want to get up here. Come on up here. He wants the microphone. One of the things I like about when we get Paul Higgins up here, and we all give him a hard time, but here's the deal. 30 plus years of institutional knowledge, 30 plus years of industry knowledge. Plus anytime you get up here, the heat gets off of me about cameras. So you're probably number 1A of the most hated man here. So, but we kid, but he always gives some really good information. I think you got some information and you want to talk about trailer doors.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Go for it.
Hey,
not too long though.
No. Hey, we talked about this and I have to endure a weekly call about what claims we've had. And so this is one of those things that I think, man, it really makes me crazy. Like we've all used this expression before, makes you think your head's going to explode when you hear these things. So I just want to make sure that we're tracking and we have it on film and all that. We had a case, you didn't cover this already, did you? While I was getting food. We had a case where we pick up a drop trailer or in this case, we left the receiver. It seems like every week we leave the receiver and we think everything's groovy and we drive down the road, we drop the trailer somewhere only to find out later on after somebody else picks up the trailer that the receiver rejected a couple of pallets of product. So, sometimes it's meat and the reefer's off and the trailer's been sitting for a couple of days. And now we look like idiots. And hey, we could argue with that, but it is what it is. I can't believe that we do that. And so it's kind of like Doug had said also just a little bit ago, man, like on these pre-trip inspections, we got to look at those tires. If there's a chunk out of that tire, man, take a picture of that thing. This is trucking 101. And those of you people with the green vests, I appreciate you guys being here. So this is great. And you people probably, since you're brand new, you know how this inspection thing works because you're hot off the presses, right? You're just getting your license and all that stuff. So you're probably the best ones to do pre-trip inspections. Now, the rest of us who've been doing it, and I've been here 43 years, but I'm telling you, it's easy to forget this or to take it for granted. So one more thing that I should bring up here too, on a trailer door issue, we left a truck stop and somebody, just taking a break, I don't know, maybe going in and using the restroom, whatever the case was, but we took off and we drove 20 miles and somebody said, hey, Prime, you got a trailer door swinging open back there. So we think about that, right? And we think about the video that we watched, Doug's deal about how, I promise you that tire inflation lamp was glowing when Doug was talking about that guy driving for 5 or 6 miles. Man, you got to stop. Like, what's the right amount of time to stop for an inflation deal? Right now. Okay, let me get a little bit closer. A quarter mile. That's how important it is. Because sometimes we don't talk about this. We say, well, get the next exit or a safe place. A quarter mile. How's that? So now you got a good number. Anyway, let's go back to that trailer door swinging open. 20 miles. Somebody had either broken into the trailer or wanted to look inside or whatever the case was. Maybe it was just a prank. But what does our before every driving shift happens, after every break, what are we supposed to do? Walk around, do another pre-trip. We got to find out these things and we can't just let this continue to go on. So I wanted to just bring that up. We can talk about that if we want. I don't know that there's much gray area there. We just got to get back to this trucking 101. It's the basics. And I think that's just what we expect our folks to do. So holler at me. I'll be here after the meeting and we can chat about anything you'd like. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate it. Good information, no doubt. Passionate about it. That's about Paul right there.
43 years. Good.
You were saying 30, man. I knew you weren't close, but that's okay.
How old are you?
44. I like that answer.
All right. So, as a part of these meetings here in the most recent past, we've always have a fleet manager here because the fleet manager driver relationship here at Prime is the most important relationship that you're going to have with anybody here. Yeah, you can come by and talk to the safety folks, and the payroll folks are always everybody's favorite, co-worker to work with. They make sure you get paid, but it's that fleet manager driver relationship that is going to make sure that you're happy, you're healthy, you're home, you're paid. It's these folks that are responsible for that. So we're going to have Thomas Long from our refrigerator division come on up.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got some not so new information to talk about, and we're going to go over some other things too.
Right. And we'll try to make it quick. But First, when I first got involved in trucking, do you guys, anybody here long enough to remember when you just stuck your bills in a trip pack thing and hoped it showed up on the other end, right? Then we got truck stop scanning, and we thought we'd died and gone to heaven. Then we had in-cab scanning. Does anybody remember that? Was anybody here when we had some of those? Yeah, we got a couple old timers there, and oh my gosh, we thought that was the world. And now we've got the app, right, that we can scan the bills and everything. The point of that is things change. Well, we've got a big change going on right now, and that is scanning your bills at the shipper. Okay, we've just started that, and we need your help. The purpose of this is to make sure that we've got the right load, make sure we've got all of the POs, because customers can and do file claims 4, 5, 6 months later because we're missing a PO and they don't have a proof of delivery on it. Make sure that we're hauling it at the right temperature, all of those things, and to attempt to do it quickly and efficiently. The inline goal of this, and we need your help, but the inline goal of this, when it's all up to par, and it'll take some time, is to stop the live loaded call. And I think everybody would like to do that, right? Yeah, you can clap for that. Nobody likes hanging out on the phone line and the line's getting busy and stuff like that. But we need your help. Right now, it is a duplicate process, and we understand that, okay? But please get involved in scanning these bills in at your shipper, okay? Still doing all the processes, circling your temperature, calling in, doing the live loaded call. We're all getting used to this on the inside too. And by doing that and by your involvement, we will more quickly improve this process so that eventually it will be AI that will be spotting those temperatures, spotting those POs, all of that stuff, and helping us to avoid claims, which we had one about 3 weeks ago. Did the live loaded call, everything, the load was pro'd at -10. The driver pre-cooled to -10, called in his live loaded call, leaves Carthage, goes all the way out to California. And if I were to have the temps up here, you would see it go from 34 to 30 to 28 and all of that. And if I were to show you the bills, very clearly said 34. Pro'd at -10, loaded at -10, and we froze it to -10. And I believe that claim was about $85,000. You remember that claim, Jim? Is that about right? Yeah, Jim's got the pain in his eyes. Those are career-changing claims. And that's what all of this stuff is about. It's not to irritate. It's not to do any of that stuff. It's to make sure that the money that you make stays with you. Because, of course, if we do something like that, what I just described to you, that claim is all ours, 100%. That's coming out of us, okay? Which in this case is the driver. We don't want that at all. So please help us out with that. I've had some drivers send in some recommendations and suggestions. If you have recommendations and suggestions on how to help make this process smoother, please send it in. And then in that, and this will be about a 90-second deal, don't neglect your downtime and not educate yourself. We have so many classes at Prime and also on your app, so many videos to help you to improve yourself. When I was younger, I had a guy who mentored me, and he called it the 3 T's. He says, you got 3 T's. You got time, talent, treasure. You got time, okay, to improve your talent, and you're going to have to invest some of your treasure sometimes, which is our finances, right? We've got ACE 2 Monday, Wednesday, Saturday here in Springfield. We've got ACE 2 on Thursday. Improve us, especially on the pre-scanning. Thanks for what you guys do out there. I know it's been a rough 2 years. I've been here for 20 years. It's been a rough 18 months to 2 years, but we're coming out of that. And the reason why we're coming out of that in many, many ways is because of the superior service that you guys have performed out there, which makes Steve Whitkey's job so easy. I'm so jealous of that guy. All right. Thanks very much, guys.
Thomas, good job, man.
Thank you, Thomas. Again, that fleet driver, fleet manager relationship, I can't speak enough about how important it is. You know, it's not about, oh, that guy's going to be my best friend. You know, I was a fleet manager for a long time, and some of my best drivers, they weren't very friendly, to be honest with you. But kind of going off what Thomas said, they took the craft seriously. They educated themselves. They asked questions. They continuously got better at what they were doing. They set goals. Well, I want to finish this lease, and I want to add a truck. I want a small fleet. I want to retire at this point. They knew what they were waking up, and they knew what the goal was every single morning. So that made it a lot easier to help them out, made it a lot easier to work with them.
It was a business, right? I
It
mean,
is.
that's what this is. And if you're going to lease a truck, it's a business, and that's where you got to look at it. And you may not get along with your fleet manager, but you know what? If they keep you busy, keep you profitable, keep you running, that's what it's about. And, that's at the end of the day, Dennis, you hit the nail on the head right there, man. So did Thomas. He had a lot of good advice, especially those videos that are out there, man. We got all kinds of maintenance videos. Go through your app and look at those when you have downtime. You can learn so much. If you have questions about the videos, go to your road assist or go to Trent or Doug or come to safety. We'll help you out. If we don't know the answer, we'll find out what it is. And there's all kinds of education, and that's what this is. Starting out new, you don't know everything, and we understand that. We don't expect that, but we expect you to learn and learn, from past mistakes sometimes, and sometimes that's the best learning. So we just don't want you to have those mistakes at the end of the day. So
I'm gonna turn it over to Sean and let him take it away. So before I completely turn it over to you, tell us a little bit about your history. Where are you from?
Okay. You're giving me the mean, I'll just take it.
No, I'm where are you from?
So originally from California.
All right, and you live where now?
I moved out of California because it was expensive, moved to Oklahoma.
All right, and you did some time in the military, right?
Absolutely. From 2006 until 2015, I served some 9, almost 8.5 years with the United States Navy. So thank you. Now, during the time I was in the Navy, went all over the world, as what most Navy sailors do. Guantanamo Bay for a total of 4 years. So that was my first introduction into the military. Was like, hey, let's go to Guantanamo. After that, went to the Naval Support Activity, Suda Bay, Greece, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. So basically, we were a stopping point before a lot of the aircraft and the ships, before they went into the Persian Gulf. They would come there first for either armor, or they would bring on troops or anything like that, normally refueling though. Then after that, came back to the States. I was stationed which was weird, I was stationed at an Air Force base, which is weird for Navy because it's like we get a lot of nicer stuff. So stationed at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City for another 4 years. That was primarily a nuclear command, which was interesting, but did that and then finished out my time in the Naval Hospital in Bremerton, Washington.
All right. Well, thank you for your service, first of all. And of course, we wear red on Fridays. I see you got a little bit of red on,
Hold on.
And kind of to kind of give you the old Steve feel. I used to say, Steve, you're not wearing red. He said, don't worry, I was deployed.
There you go.
So we're
always red.
We wear red on Fridays, RED. Remember everyone deployed. So if you served this country in uniform, if you defended our freedom, stand for just a second to give us the opportunity to honor you.
And I got something that was really interesting. You're all about numbers, especially in safety, right?
Okay.
3,400 plus. That's how many veterans we have employed at Prime. That is one heck of a number.
Yeah, that's worth a round of applause.
And with that being said, I've been on the driver advisory board that's been going on I was brought on to my second term. Now, the driver advisory board is something that's extremely unique with Prime. that we have a set of drivers that obviously go through the application process, and that we'll end up sitting down, meeting with basically every person that ends up being up here, from Robert to Steve to safety. All the department heads are in these meetings. And we're going on there as an advisory to the drivers. Like, hey, this is what we want to see. This is some stuff we would like to get done. And that's extremely unique to Prime. There's not very many companies, especially in this industry, or having an owner that would absolutely say, hey, let's bring the drivers and let's get their opinion and see what they like. So that's obviously, that's an applause definitely onto Robert and the rest of Prime. That's something that we should definitely take advantage of. So on the driver advisory board, we have quite a few veterans that are on the driver advisory board. And we started thinking that, what do we want to see? We have a great veteran program with Prime. And we put it forward to the heads and we asked them and said, hey, can we do something to where we have a get together around Veterans Day? So it is with great pride and that I actually announced that we are going to be having our first annual Navy Military Veterans Ball. Is going to be November 13th at the Oasis. That's our first annual time. So we are going to have some fun with that. Now, we are actually in the process, I know Mitch is in the process of it right now, that the RSVP is actually going to be on your guys' news portion of the app. It's basically almost like as soon as right now. So you guys can go on there, you guys can RSVP. Now, one of the questions is, what should I wear? Business casual, don't show up in, greased up stuff, just like, because you're going to be in front of a lot of people. Now, there are a lot of people, especially veterans, that if you want to wear your uniform, now mind you, your dress uniform, I know I personally can't fit in mine anymore. So there are some that might be able to. I know that we don't want to destroy or look onto the ballroom floor at the end of the night and then see a whole bunch of buttons because somebody decided they could fit in a uniform that they hadn't in 40 years. But if you choose that you want to end up wearing your uniform, we want that. Just make sure you're not wearing fatigues. Make it to where it's nice, presentable, just like any military ball that you guys had done whenever you guys were actually in. So that's one thing, that's the announcement that we wanted to make. So that we take a lot of pride with that. So I want to say thank you to Robert. I want to say thank you to the rest of the driver advisory board, and let's go.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Let's give him a round of applause. Just one more thing that came out of the driver advisory board that, hey, we're going to implement just like that. So in the news section of your app, if you're interested in coming, hit that RSVP. And of course, as always, communicate with your fleet manager and he or she will get you taken care of. So Robert, we gave away a little bit of your time, but we've always got time for you.
Thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. When you get my age, you never know. Every day is a blessing. Appreciate seeing you all. Appreciate you new folks. Thanks for choosing Prime. You made a good decision. We're proud of you here. Your family now. Don't go running off. I'm gonna have to come fetch you up and bring you back. We love our drivers. A lot of people talk about it. Hopefully, it's apparent to you that it means something here. We do love our drivers. We're driver centric. You all provide this service. Business is coming back, folks. It's coming back. Now it's slow, but we're up. Yeah, we're up 479 loads this morning, week over week. So we got damn near 500 more loads on this week than we had just last week. So we can continue that. A lot of these lesser lights, they've kind of faded. They haven't been able to handle this pressure. The pressure is, it's a big separator, right? It's easy when it's easy. But when it gets tough, that's the separator. And we've largely passed that test. And again, as has been said, thankfully to the service sacrifices,
that you all make out there. Man, we always want to acknowledge the excellent service that you provide and what it takes, the effort, the hard work, the intelligence, the whole package, what it takes to provide that service. It ain't easy. They can't do it. We can do it, and we've proven that. I appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend. Things are looking up. God bless each of you, and please be safe.